7x7 is the company,
Yes.
and you put up the 7S Super League.
Yes.
Okay. So how long did it take you to put this all together?
Well, I started back in 2018, right? Yeah, 2018, right outside here, we started with 8 teams in just BGC, right? Now we have a community in 18 cities across the country with over 700 teams, right? Yeah, so then we have our football events in Mindanao, in Visayas, and in Luzon, right? But what we want to do, we want to be able to show our community that they can be professionals in 7-a-side football. And this is where we are starting the 7 Super League. So now they can be professionals playing this sport.
But for the initial season, you only have 7.
Oh yeah, for the initial season, we only have 7 cities that we are going to include. We want to hyper-focus on the NCR, and then we will expand into the provinces.
So how many can join?
Right now, well, we want to start off very controlled, right? So then we'll be able to grow the value, be able to show that, hey, people are interested in football. But with the likes of you guys being a partner with Viva, I mean, it helps out bringing the awareness of the sport to the people, you know? And the more people we get watching, then the more we can do with football.
Do you see this partnering with a major TV station in the future?
Oh, of course, you know, 100%. And that's the direction we want to go, right? We want to be able to, be empowered by, you know, a media outlet like that and a media partner, because once a media partner like that comes in, then it allows us to level up our leagues and take it nationwide.
So when you say revolutionizing, what do you mean by that? What measures are you taking?
So football is normally played 11 versus 11, right? Our football is played 7 versus 7. That means 7 players versus 7 players. What that does, that makes it more exciting because the field is 1/4 the size of a normal football field. We get about 6 goals a game in 50 minutes of playing, right? And it makes it more sustainable because everything is much cheaper. You don't need a big size field anymore. Being 1/4 size of the field, you can actually go to smaller places and actually play this game properly, right? Also, you don't have to find 11 plus people to come out and play. But then lastly, it's also the cost, right? To rent this field over here in McKinley Hill, it cost us 6,000 pesos an hour. Yeah, and you imagine if you're an 11-a-side team, you need to rent out the whole field. But if you're 7-a-side, all you have to do is rent out 1/4 of the field. So then instead of paying 6,000 pesos, you're paying 1,500 pesos. So it makes it much more affordable.
You mentioned talents. How you're partnering with LGUs, right?
Yes.
So kanya-kanyang scout ng talent.
Yes, so the LGUs, it's not necessarily the LGUs who are scouting the talent. We actually hired on general managers for each of the teams. So each of the team has a GM who probably used to play football before and lives in that city. So now they are very motivated to be able to put together the best team. So how we scout the players is, let's say for Pasig, right? Pasig, they wanted us to be able to scout players from Rizal High School. So we will look to be able to try and hopefully get a few players from Rizal High School. But I know Pasig also has a few Tondo players, you know? So it's nice to be able to get a nice mixture. QC, the same thing with Councilor Vito, right? So Councilor Vito, he sets up a football program every Saturday in QC, where he has over 1,000 kids coming and playing. This gives them an outlet to be able to play and be on a professional team, right? So this is really our direction, to be able to provide a pathway for not just adults and football players like myself, but also the kids.
You have like a slogan, J.O.Y, Jobs, Opportunity, Youth.
Yes.
Can you expound on that?
Well, I mean, that's our main driver. That's our main, when we say driver, it's our main why, right? I mean, we got to look at the bigger picture here. We're creating a sport. In creating a sport, everything that is done in 11-a-side football has to be done again in 7-a-side football. So from coaches, players, physios, kitmen, even you, right? Now you have another avenue to be able to have a job, right? So all of the jobs that we're creating, plus we got the opportunity. People like myself, we're too old to play 11-a-side football now. Maybe I could come play 7-a-side football, right? All of the players that didn't make it, now they have an avenue to come out and try and play. But then lastly is the youth, right? So now the youth, they have a vision to be able to dream again. Dream about being professionals in a sport. So,
But why do me if my impression is correct or not? It sounds like a social sport.
right
Like
now,
if I'm poor, can I play it?
of course.
I mean, can I join this league?
Yeah, of course. I mean, what we're looking at and what we're very focused on is trying to get the best players and give them the opportunity. That's why even for my team, BGC Soldiers, right? One of our best players come from Tondo, right? His name's
I think it
MJ
was
Libre.
Wolverine, sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So technically, the rule is 5 players from the roster have to be from the city, right? You have an 18-player roster, but only 14 will be able to dress on the day for the game, right? So you imagine it has 4 reserves, right? So 18 players, but only 14 can dress, so then 4 players will have to sit out, right? And then from those 14 players, those can be players from anywhere. If I wanted to get Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, then I could get Messi over here, right? But it'd cost me too much money, you know? But then this is what I'm trying to do here is create it to be very professionalized, give the general managers the ability to go find players, scout players from other cities, other locations, and gives people, all types of people, that avenue to be able to play. Not so shy players.
I saw some, I
Yeah.
saw in the press release or something. A celebrity can own a team.
This is what we have. So, you know, for me, I want to make this sport very popular, right? Because content, well, sport is content,
Yes.
right? So sport is all about content and how you sell it best. If I could bring the awareness of the sport to the people, then I can start selling the sport better. And why wouldn't I do it with all of my friends who would also love to be part of owning a football team? So I invited 21 of my friends who are all celebrities, right, to be partners in the different teams.
Can you mention like who's involved in like say QC
Okay.
or in passing?
All right, so starting, right, because I like to create storylines and create a little drama, okay? So for Pampanga, right? Pampanga, we have Sponge Cola, Misag Bahadoran, who was an ex-Ascal, and then Hamed Hajimari, also ex-pro football player. But because the lead singer of Sponge Cola is
Nakabalik.
Yael, right? We went contra with his wife, Karil, to be for Laguna.
Ah,
So now Karil, she is the partner there of Laguna because that's where she's from. So now we can create sort of drama between the two because we want to be able to have one do better than the other one, right? But then it's also nice because I look at the other teams. QC, we have Gian Soto, Vito Soto, and Brian Poe are the partners there, right? But also in Pasig, we have Vico Soto, we have Jerome Manzanano, and then one more person I forget, right? And then in Parañaque, we have Wahoo Soto, and then we have the 2 girls, Haley and Ina, from the national team, the women's team. So now we have 3 Sotos who we get to have compete against each other, right? So then it sort of creates a rivalry there. And then for BGC, we have Gabe Norwood, Tony Tone, and Dan Matsunaga. And then for Alabang, we have Stefan Strock and Nico Bozico.
they're committed to like help promote the team, but do they own the team?
Yeah. So
Oh,
they're all partners, yeah. So as they
They put out money.
No. So I said, you guys promote the team and I will give you equity into the team. So all of them have been offered, they get up to 10% equity in the team as long as they promote the team and, you know, be supportive of the sport.
Okay. What you says here, raising standard. How are you doing that right now?
Well, when it comes down to raising the standard of sports, especially football here in the country, right? It hasn't really been pushed the right way. You know, football, everybody thinks football here is the number 4 sport in the country, which I guess on paper, and if we look at it from an outsider point of view, it does look that way, right? But me, I go out to the provinces and I see what goes on in the provinces. I see the people playing the sport. And football over there, if you go to the Visayas, it's all they do. You know, they play football. In Mindanao, I didn't realize that there was so much football going on, you know? So I believe that football over here, it just needs to be brought together. And that's where I want to come in and I want to be able to help that so then we could be one voice to be able to bring football up and be one of the top sports in the country. And we'll be able to do that through the 7th Super League.
Okay, inclusivity. What does that mean for the football?
Inclusivity? It's what football is. You know, they call it the beautiful game, right? It's because it applies to everybody. If you go to all of the other countries across the world, you know, here they have it so backwards because everybody thinks that football is a rich person's sport, right? Yeah, everybody thinks that. But have you heard the stories of...
Because everyone's English.
But then, like I said, if you go to the provinces, it's what they play. Some of our best players are from Tondo, you know? It's amazing. They don't have the platform and they just don't have the opportunity to be able to showcase it. And that's what we're here for.
If I'm a player of football, can I raise a family out of it? I mean, is it a money? Can I earn from it as a career?
Soon enough, you will be able to, I believe. That's where you guys come into play, right? That's where Viva and all of the other media partners come into play, because the more attention that I could bring to this sport, then the more sponsors will come in, the more awareness. And from there, we're able to play our players a lot more, right? For now, I'm promising the players, hey, you can make a little bit here playing for the league. So at least you guys can take home some money, right? Eventually, that money hopefully turns into a very consistent, stable job in the future. So,
why are you doing this?
like I told you,
It's like a passion for you.
well, yeah, passion, of course. I mean,
Legacy.
football, no, not so much. Well, legacy is one thing, you know, for my parents, right? Something for my parents, for my family, it's something that they'd want. But for me, I guess sport doesn't die, you know? And if we're able to create a sport, it's impacting the world, okay? I like to think a little bit big, and when it comes down to thinking big, creating a sport is actually something that can be done here. And I realized it, and I believe that I can make this happen. And that's why we use the Philippines as a great case study and proof of concept. But I already have partners in 9 other countries here in Asia, right? So we'll be kicking off in 9 other countries this year. We've already kicked off in Singapore, Japan, Brunei, India. So now it's just expanding into more countries. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, you know, joy. Remember that, okay? That's the why. That is the why.
That is the why.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. This is Anton Del Rosario from the 7th Super League. Please make sure to come check us out. Beginning March 10 at McKinley Hill Stadium, we'll be kicking off. Join us. It'll be fun. You're going to see some great football. You're going to have a lot of things going on, concessions, music. Enjoy. Take care. God bless.